back to your daily dose. I'm Robert. I'm here with Okeanis, and we're talking about the magic pill. Oh, that's so good. We ended our last episode, and you're kind enough to hang out for another. Is there anything more? And you said, yeah, we got to talk about the way people get their sleep. And let's open right there with the pit of the magic pill, the idea that I could just take something and that'll handle everything. Give me the trouble with that mindset and practice.
Yeah, so sleep is multifactorial, good sleep or attaining sleep. So I see sometimes from other providers or general medicine or family medicine, they're like, oh, take some Ambien, take some sleeping pills, and you'll be fine. However, the problem with that is that most likely you'll get used to the medication, and sure enough, in a few weeks, it's not going to work. So it's not going to solve your problem. So the problem with sleep and Parkinson's is most of the times they don't have trouble falling asleep, but they have trouble staying asleep. So they wake up multiple times at night, and we have to figure out why that is. And there's numerous reasons why that can happen. Whether you're wearing off from your medication, whether you're anxious and you are just your anxiety and your it is waking you up. It could be that you're snoring and you have sleep apnea. It could be you may have restless legs, or you may have there's so many reasons. Obviously, your bladder could be waking you up, and that's pretty common, or vice versa. You wake up and you feel like you have to urinate. So we really have to tease apart what the real cause of this fragmentation, the sleep fragmentation, is before we actually treat. I have patients where I treated their motor symptoms at night, and they slept great. And that was not a sleeping pill. A sleeping pill would not have done anything, masked the problems, and a few weeks later, it wouldn't work. So you also don't want to take anything that will make you sleepy or foggy during the day when you wake up and have this hangover feeling. So it's a balance, but like everything, we really have to initially identify the cause of the sleep fragmentation before insomnia, before we actually treat it. And sometimes, like you said in the previous episode, it's what we do before we go to bed, how we treat our sleep. Are we regimented? Do we have a structure? Do we keep the TV open all night? I can't sleep with the TV on. It's light, it wakes you up. And people need to realize that light wakes you up,
Yeah,
darkness wakes you.
that I'm with you. That's a personal drive me crazy. And here's the thing: many of us, if we're blessed enough to have a loved one, a marriage partner or otherwise, we may have different kind of ways of doing things. And certainly, it's that with me, and my wife. She wants the TV on, and I don't. And yeah, I mean, you make adjustments because yeah, you're right. To me, the light thing is very detrimental. I like the term you use too. You said sleep fragmentation. Um, because I think proper terminology helps us visualize and understand. This goes back to what you said earlier about having the complete night of sleep, and as opposed to just periodic REM sleep. And so fragmentation, I can almost see the jagged edges of that, and I can envision that with, like you say, the multiple reasons why we might experience that fragmentation. Um, Last thing in this regard, and give me as much as you can, circadian rhythms. What does that mean, and how applicable is that to understand your circadian rhythm to get a good night's sleep? Is that biological, completely fixed, or is it adjustable based on behavior?
A little bit of both. So our circadian rhythm is um, um, governed by the, and I'm not going to go into much detail, but it's governed by our melatonin production or lack of melatonin production by the brain that reacts. It's driven by our behaviors, but also by light, mostly by light or absence of. So we do have a rhythm where we feel more sleepy, we fall asleep, and then we wake up because of fluctuations of melatonin. And this is why we say light is there. Light therapy is very important, or how you regulate your light in terms of when you go to sleep is important for your sleep. So you have to know that circadian rhythm of your body. And most of the times, everyone's pretty much the same because we all um, follow the light, follow the absence or the presence of light. and not just humans, any mammal, any organism on this earth. We sleep with the lack of light and we wake up with the presence of light of day and night. That's why we have this.
Save for
This
the nocturnal creatures, and there are some who are,
except the nocturnals, yeah.
right, yeah.
So it's important to understand that. And of course, there's some disorders of we call them circadian rhythm disorders, and we're not going to talk about those. But this is how we function, and going against our nature is not advisable. And we can't. I have a lot of patients or people who say, "Oh, I just sleep for 4 hours. That's how my brain works." Well, maybe when you're young, but when you get older, that's not really how your brain works, or should not work.
Yeah, like you say, it's perhaps symbolic or a sign of a problem where we might. You're right. The things we can normalize. I talk about this all the time. The both the benefit and the problem of homeostasis. How we normalize, sometimes detrimental things. That's just me, right? That phrase, you probably hear that a lot. I hear that too. It doesn't have to be there, and that's, I think, part of what you're giving, and certainly I know a big part of what I give too is, there are things we can do, and it doesn't have to be back to what we started this with, a magic pill. There are behavioral, there are supports, there are, ways of addressing these to find what you said very nicely, what is, our nature. Because I agree with you, going against our nature, it's asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank you enough for providing this good trouble. Let's get people thinking and talking more about sleep, because it's so important. And again, I will make sure, of course, this goes out to our community. If you ever have anything else study wise, things you want to bring forth, you're always welcome to come back. It's really been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit.
I would love to. I would love to. And given that it's New Year's Eve, let's make it a New Year's resolution. Sleep better for
Let's do that.
2025.
Happy 2025. Better sleep. Hey, thanks again. We'll see you on the
You're
next.
welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.